What's going on, everybody? My name is Brett, and I think I've had enough time. I'm ready to give you my thoughts and review the Canon 90D. Give you guys a little bit of my point of view. I'm an amateur photographer, videographer. It is, I'm a hobbyist, so I'm not a professional reviewing this camera. My favorite form of photography is really street photography. I did a lot of that with this camera. Also did a lot of videos, creating different videos, vlogs, short films, cinematic stuff with this camera. Had it for about 2 to 3 months, and before I gave my thoughts on it, I really wanted to just get out there and use it and really put it through the paces. I didn't just want to use it one time and have the honeymoon phase and just go, oh, I love this thing. So first off, let me start off with the build quality. The build quality is pretty great. I mean, that's to be expected with a Canon camera, especially in this price range. Built pretty durable. I haven't like thrown it across the room or anything, but it feels really solid, and it feels really good in the hand to hold, and it's got a really good grip. It's a little bit thicker than like a mirrorless camera, but I honestly like kind of a little bit of the chunk of it because you can really get a good grasp, however you like to hold it. But this handle over here is awesome. I've noticed that when I've been out shooting, it never feels uncomfortable to hold. I mean, if you're nitpicking, you could say, yeah, it's kind of bulky or it's kind of heavy, but come on, who are we kidding here? It's a camera. Also, nothing on it really feels cheap at all. Like, it feels solid. It's got a very solid feel to it. Right now I've got the kit lens, the 18 to 135 kit lens on it, not for any reason, it's just on there. Some of the other lenses that I have been using with it, aside from the 18 to 135, is the 10 to 18 kind of wide angle lens. I use that for the vlogs and the selfie type stuff. And then I also have the Nifty 50 is what they call it, and I hate that name, but that's what they call it. It's a 50 millimeter, and it's awesome. I love this lens. I use this one primarily when I do like the street photography and I'm walking around getting pictures. I love this lens. Those are the 3 lenses I've been using with this camera. I've really enjoyed all 3 of them. A lot of people dog on the kit lenses, but I don't get that. Like, I actually like it. It's a good lens. So some of the reasons why I chose this camera. I read and heard a lot of really great things about the 80D, and so I kind of went back and forth between the 80D or if I should just go with the 90D, but yeah, I just went ahead and said, yeah, I'll spend a little bit extra money and get the 90D because it's the most updated, most recent model available. And I also did want a DSLR. The camera I'm shooting on right now is a G7X Mark II. It's a mirrorless system. I actually really like that camera. It's a little small, like a point and shoot camera, but it's a really great camera. Really wanted a DSLR, and kind of the purists really dig that style and that system, but I really wanted to get a DSLR because I just did. Pros and cons to each mirrorless and DSLR. I personally don't think you could go wrong with either. It's really a preference thing, but I wanted a DSLR, so that's why I went with this instead of, like I think the R5 and the R6 is similar to this, but it's the mirrorless system. It's one of the reasons I went with the 90D. Another thing I really liked about this when I read about it and researched was that the 4K on the video doesn't auto crop. Now, this is a crop frame sensor, which I'm not going to get off in a cropped frame versus full frame, but when you record with 4K, it does not auto crop the 4K. You can, but it doesn't automatically do it. And then, like I mentioned with the lenses, Canon has a huge inventory of lenses to choose from. Now, let me talk about the performance, like the real world actually using this thing. I have not enjoyed using this camera, not for a second. I've loved every minute using this thing. As I mentioned, I love the feel of it, and then when I'm out shooting, I have yet to have any issues whatsoever. Battery life honestly seems really good. You get better battery life with a DSLR versus a mirrorless system, but it really feels great on this, even when I do video and I'm using that the back viewfinder. What do they call it? The rear viewfinder? I don't know. Even with this back panel, which flips out, which is pretty awesome, it's still, the battery life seems awesome on it. So that's been really great. One thing about the that I really wanted to make sure I mentioned to you guys was the image quality. I've shot in both ideal situations like the golden hour and sunrise, and I've also shot in some of the less ideal, like at night, and I've yet to get a photo that is just bad. Even the photos that are not the best in the world are still serviceable. Well, I wouldn't even say serviceable, they're still good. I mean, I have yet to be in a tough condition and this thing not give me at least a decent to good quality picture. It really is a fantastic photography camera. Usually when I'm running and doing street photography, I put it in aperture priority mode. A lot of people kind of dog this, but the auto mode is even pretty incredible. I mean, yeah, you'll get kind of the higher ISOs sometimes if you're shooting like in really low light or night. There's a setting where you can set the ISO to not go above a certain level, like a threshold. If you do that, I mean, you really don't have to worry about too much of the grainy photography at night or in low light settings. So really pleased with this. If I were really to nitpick though, I will say when shooting video in low light settings, I've kind of struggled as far as getting I mean, great quality video. It still comes out good. It's got a little bit of the noise. Natural lighting at night is really hard. That's probably more user error on my part, but that's really the only nitpicky thing, is I've struggled to get like great video quality in really low light settings. But again, that's probably me. It's probably not the camera. One cool thing I love about it is it's got an external mic input, so I can run, I've got a Shure VP83, I think is what it's called, lens hopper mic I put on here to do video. It's a little top part right there, and you get you an external mic, and it sounds awesome. It really improves the audio quality of you know, just the built-in external mic. Comparing this with the other options kind of in this same range-ish, I did look at the you know, the R5, which is a mirrorless, really similar to this, but the mirrorless version. But I believe it had some cropped 4K, which I wasn't really digging. I really like that this does not crop the 4K. I did look also into the Sonys. Now those look really awesome. Matter of fact, it was actually kind of a tough decision. The A6400 looks awesome. The A7 III looks awesome. They're great cameras. I just went with Canon. I don't think you can go wrong with either, but you know, I went with the 90D. Probably all great cameras. I've never used a Sony, but they look great reviews, so I'm not dogging them at all, but those are kind of cameras around in this similar range, I would say. I just want to give you a kind of quick thoughts on this camera. This camera is awesome. I'm really happy with this thing. I'm probably going to be using it for quite a while. But you know, if you guys have ever used the 90D or the 80D or anything along those ranges, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you think this camera sucks, let me know why. I think it's awesome. If you think it's awesome, let me know why too. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.